Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to anyone out there that's listening. Thank you again for tuning in to my Bamboozled series and my first time podcasting and sharing my story. This is Divine Fabulosity. And I am here to talk about my journey through and out of narcissistic abuse. Welcome back to episode 3. So just a little recap. I was talking about the history of how I got tangled into the web of madness with the narcissist in my life. And I have come across so much pertinent information and so much helpful information to help me on this journey to get the fuck out. My whole plan is to get the fuck out of this mess. And I will. And I feel like using this podcast to kind of really connect to and validate the things that I have experienced with this person and hopefully be a voice to anyone else out there that may have or is going through something similar with a toxic person in their life. Now, my experience has led me to believe that I am dealing with a narcissist, someone who lacks empathy, someone who just does not give a fuck about anyone else's feelings or how their behavior might impact someone else's life. And that's what I've experienced with this individual. And he just happens to also be my baby daddy. That's my baby daddy right there. I am so blessed to have 2 beautiful, healthy children. I would not trade anything in this world. I also have no regrets moving forward, but I have come to a place of realization, knowing that this toxicity is not my cup of tea. This ain't the type of tea I want to be serving to nobody else. More importantly, I want to make sure I now go forward protecting myself, protecting my children, protecting my mental health, my sanity, my soul. And I just want to get the fuck up out of this. So I've been talking about the history, how he's been designing this lifestyle of selfishness and cruelty that I just so happen to get woven right into. So on episode 2, I left off talking about how my child's father told me that he was in this new relationship, a long distance relationship with a woman in St. Lucia. And this was a couple months before I was supposed to give birth to his first child. Now, before I carry on with the new woman, I need to bring it back to the first woman that he was with. And I had mentioned how she and I had had some conversations and stuff like that. And when me and her spoke, obviously a lot of different truths were exchanged. And she let me know that their relationship was not as off as he was leading me to believe. So I just wanted to mention that when she was describing this stuff to me, I said, listen, I don't mean no disrespect. I don't mean no harm. I really believed what he was telling me, that he told you the truth about what was going on, and even more so, that you gave your blessings. And I said, I ain't trying to mess around with nobody else's life. And I said, if you need me to pull back and let y'all do your thing, I am more than willing to come out of this and let you guys build and repair whatever you had going on before. And she was like, I don't want him. You can have him. She's like, this dude ain't no 2 cents. He ain't no easy pickings. And she warned me, she's like, be careful, because I know you have an older daughter. But she told me that the two of them had went to counseling, and even the counselor said, brother, you don't know what the ass you're doing. So we had our conversations. It was very insightful, but at the same time, I'm like, bumbaclot. The man moved into my house. I didn't tell her that at that point in time because I wasn't ready to disclose that information. I didn't know who I was dealing with. I didn't know their mindset. I didn't know anything for sure at that time. I knew for sure for myself I was pregnant. I knew that this motherfucker evaporated my panties and really love bombed the shit out of me. But I wasn't ready to share my truth and what I was dealing with this woman either. You know, it was a sticky situation. But I let her know I'm more than willing to pull back. I don't want to create no problems, no disrespect. If y'all want to be together, I don't need to talk to him. I don't need to, have any type of relationship with him besides a co-parenting one. But she was like, nah, fuck that. I don't want this dude. And you better be careful for yourself and your child. But she said, at the end of the day, he's going to be a good father, woo, 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 blah, 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 blah. She still cuts her eye at me to this day whenever she sees me around. And I get it. Talk about karma. So, moving forward, it's December, a couple months before it was time to have this baby. So not only did I go through him saying that he was honest about everything to the woman that he was living with. At one point, he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to return to this country. At one point, the woman he was living with was pregnant, and she's not pregnant. He believes she's not pregnant. It's just an insignificant thing. He went from telling me that he wanted to be with me and live with me and be a family with me and my daughter and the new baby. And then it turned into he doesn't want to court me after he moved in. He had mentioned that he's in a new relationship. The dust barely settled from the last one. There was still dust with my situation. And now he's on to a new woman in St. Lucia, who he said is also a mother. He told me that me and her actually share a lot of similarities. She's a lot like me. I'm like, oh, really? Well, isn't that just lovely? That's wonderful. So he's telling me that, she has a young daughter and how nice it would be for his new baby and her daughter to grow together. I'm like, motherfucker, what are you doing? What about my daughter, who you made promises to, who you said you were going to be a father figure to? What about her? Oh, don't worry. Nobody's going to be left out. I've had the opportunity of raising many children. No one's going to be left out. Okay, if you say so. And he's like, you know what? She's in St. Lucia. You're still my mama bear. That's never gonna change. She's thinking about coming for a visit in July. And she's gonna bring some custom-made pieces for the baby. And this motherfucker even sent me a picture of the custom-made piece this new woman was gonna bring for our baby when she came to visit in July. I'm like, Lord, I don't know what I've gotten myself into, but I understand now. I understand why they say, listen, don't give up the pokey until you got the ring on that finger. If he liked it, then he should have put a ring on it. And isn't that the truth? But life lessons indeed. So she's coming on this trip. Apparently she comes to Canada often because she has family here. Blah, 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 blah. So he tells me this shit. I go to the doctor's appointment. My blood pressure has now skyrocketed because you know what? There's a dancehall song and it says, me's a gal, me na fight over a man. And I've always had that mentality. I'm not fighting over a man, and I believe that a man will be exactly where the ras they want to be. So I ain't begging you. I'm definitely questioning, what the fuck are you doing? But I ain't gonna fight for you. You said that's where you wanna be? Cool. My focus is on building a foundation for the baby that's coming and keeping myself healthy. But after that new bomb that he had dropped, my blood pressure went up, and then I had to constantly monitor my blood pressure. Thank God it didn't go past a certain level, or else I would have had to start medication. So I have been, let me just say that throughout all of this madness, I have been so blessed. Because let me tell you something, I work with mad people. And once you've gone over to that side, there ain't no coming back. And I give myself nothing but props for keeping it together. I was still working at the time, full time, overnight. I was still raising my child. I saw his movements, I saw his flex, and I was just like, I gotta make sure I've taken care of my shit. You can carry on however the blood clot you want, but I'm going to make sure me and my kids are okay. So I want to just give some thanks and praise to the Almighty for making sure that I did not lose my mind. And even looking back, I really think this motherfucker was trying to drive me crazy. Maybe drive me crazy and then say, listen, this bitch is crazy. I need to take the baby so I can now live this new life and not have to deal with her. Live a new life with my new woman, her kid, and my kid. Screw the mom. And 100%, that's how his behavior was mirroring. So I'm monitoring my blood pressure. Christmas came about and he didn't spend Christmas with us. went out of town or something like that to spend it with this family, blah, 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 blah. The family who now he says isn't his family because he's got a whole new family. He said he was gone to visit his dad, but now apparently that's not his dad. Let me tell you something. Dealing with these narcissists is always some type of bullshit. And somebody like me that's always been in the social services field, I've always dealt with crisis and people, in not the most ideal places in their life. Somebody like me will let you know exactly what it is. So it was difficult dealing with this individual because I'm like, yo, bro, your shit don't make no sense. What are you talking about? Describe this to me. Help me understand. And I don't even think he understood in his own mind. I don't know, because I could never understand what the fuck he was doing and what the fuck he was talking about. It made no sense. It still makes no sense to me now. Well, it makes a little bit more sense to me now because I've been researching and educating myself on dealing with narcissism specifically. And this information has just come to my understanding maybe 2 months ago, max. So this is all still so fresh for me. And I'm still getting out. So it's Christmas time. I spend it with my family. He goes out of town and he's staying apparently with his father. Fast forward to now, apparently the guy was never his father, and he just found out all this new stuff about his other new father, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things about these narcissists is there's always some kind of bullshit going on. Like, their story doesn't make any sense. I digress. Whatever. I was just so excited to be bringing a new life into this world. I was over it. You know what I mean? I was over it, but I was determined to live in peace with this man, to hold on to the promises that he had provided for myself and my home and my family. And somehow I believed that we were going to get through everything. So New Year's comes around and apparently he's gone to this party and he had to leave the party because this one woman was just so enamored with him and she dared touch his thigh and so he was like, I got out of there. But I'm like, yo, it's New Year's. I'm here alone. I'm here alone with my big belly and my daughter. And you're out. And apparently you're in a new relationship in St. Lucia. This whole new relationship in St. Lucia, by the way, was very up and down. 1 minute it's on, the next minute it's off. I keep on having to ask him, what is going on? Because in all truths about it, I was like, is he serious? Is this motherfucker for real though? Like, oh my God. So January was the month that I was taken off of work to get ready to, have the baby. The baby was due at the end of February, but it was crunch time and I work in a very high risk environment and also this whole blood pressure thing. So I was on sick leave before my maternity leave started. Oh man, what a whirlwind. Just thinking back to those days, only God knows how I got through it. Because he knows that I'm meant to get through these things. Because I got bigger, better fish to fry. I don't even eat fried fish because I'm allergic. But anyways, whatever. The next big thing that went down that I can remember There's the back and forth. He's in this relationship. He's not in it. He wants to be with me. I'm mama bear. And then all of a sudden, this is when the sprinklings of, like, for what I'm understanding, the devaluing really started with my narcissist. It was so on and off, up and down. And at one point he was like, listen, I'm in this relationship. There's nothing else to talk about. I have nothing else to discuss with you. And I was like, okay, but what happened to everything that you said? What happened to everything that we shared? Like, you know what I mean? You're going to just throw away this connection? And he was pretty much just like, oh, what connection? You mean that dirty talking that we do? And I was like, how things change so quickly. But I was like, wow, anyways, if you're on your journey and you're trying to find yourself and this is what you think, you need to be doing, there's nothing that I could say to this person to make you think any different. So what can I do? And like I said earlier, me's a gal, me na fight over man. I don't fight for men. A man will be where they want to be. But this motherfucker bamboozled me to thinking that he wanted to be with me. But one of the other things that I started to realize while doing my research on narcissism is that they already knew they were going to get rid of you. I was listening to a YouTube channel, helped me so much along my way and still helping me. It's called Sarah Speaks. Sarah Speaks on YouTube, and as well a very handsome gentleman with a great voice. His name is ASSC Direct on YouTube, and they have their videos have helped me so much. But pretty much, Sarah Speaks, in one of her videos, she said that the narcissist already knows they're going to get rid of you. And I was like, wow, you're going to throw away all this. All right, well, do your thing, homeboy. Do your thing. I personally have a baby coming, and I can't be bothered with you and your madness. So sometimes he would come to me and he'd be intimate with me. And I'm like, this is so confusing. I'm so confused. Didn't you just say that, you're with somebody else and you don't want to be with me? Oh, well, you're the mother of my child and blah, 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 blah. And I was intimate with him. I was pregnant. I was horny, and I liked his sex. I liked it. That's the sick part. I liked the sex. I was like, fuck what else you're doing, but pass that D. Pass that Dutch, Missy. Oh, my goodness. If I could turn back time, I would say no to the cock. Big up to Cher. So whatever, we were on again, it was off again, it was back and forth. I was just going with the fucking flow, And then came the night before my scheduled C-section. And my narcissist came and he was supposed to bring me to get, my 90 for the hospital, to get all the last little things prepared to go in for a huge surgery. And let me tell you something. This man was so rude, cold, disrespectful, distant, that I didn't even want him to come to the delivery the next day. That's how bad it was. That's how horrible I felt like he was treating me. Now, mind you, all the drama, all the fuckery seeds, all the madness up until this point, he wasn't really a dick yet. He was a dick when I asked for the tea. He was a dick when I talked to him about this new situation, but he wasn't really the full-blown asshole that he became the night before I was scheduled to give birth to his first child. You know, I don't normally like involving people in my business, but I reached out to one of his people. One of the ladies that I had met at my baby shower that he was like 2 hours late for. And I was like, listen, I don't know what's going on, but something has taken over this man and I don't know what to do. And she pretty much let me know that he had reached out to her and he was really feeling scared and nervous and to please just, give him some time and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. All right. If this is a nervous thing, but I still don't feel like I should be treated a certain way. And she's like, you know what? He probably doesn't even realize he's doing that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the next day he comes to pick me up to go to the hospital. And I tell him straight, yo, the way you treated me last night was so unnecessary. And we actually got into an argument because it's like they don't take any responsibility. That was probably the first time that he was like, nah, you're emotional and your hormones are all over the place and you're just being oversensitive. But I wasn't. My intuition told me exactly what was up. My belly told me, yo, this motherfucker's crazy. And I let him know, I don't even know if I want you in the delivery room with me because your energy is negative and I'm not interested in it. It wasn't until after I said that he apologized. He said that he was stressed out and he was nervous and he would never treat me badly on purpose. Came into the delivery room. Oh, sorry. Before we get there, right as we're leaving, the hospital called and said, nah, nobody come. Y'all have to come in tomorrow. All right. We ended up going to his house. Guess what happened? And then guess what happened after that happened? Oh, out of the respect for the new woman in my life, I can't be doing this with you anymore. All right. Whatever you say, Playboy, whatever you say. And I just want to leave this episode off with the delivery of a beautiful, healthy baby that next day. He did come into the delivery room with me. I really wanted my mom there with me, but I was only allowed to have one person, and he's the father. Right, Maury? That's the father. You are the father. And he took that badge and really ran with that. So I want to wrap up this episode saying that, such a beautiful bubble ups came into the world that next day. And I'm so blessed that she came out healthy, beautiful. He took forever to hand me the baby. But, oh, mama, do I ever have so much more to share. I'm grateful, I'm thankful for this experience, and I'm grateful and thankful for this platform because I was really wanting to share and to talk about what I was going through, but I was like, how can I do this anonymously? How can I do this to protect myself, my family, prevent a lawsuit? Because God knows this dude like to go and threaten court, and I will be discussing those things in future episodes. But what an experience. I'm going to wrap it up for right now. Thank you so much for tuning in to my Bamboozled series, my journey through and out of narcissistic abuse. Please stay tuned for the next episode, and also a name for this shit. I need a name. Any ideas, anybody? Anyways, please take it easy, but still take it, and take a little for me. Bye.